Well, Dub Nation, we have finally received the news that we have been waiting for. The Golden State Warriors are once again a playoff team. After defeating the Memphis Grizzlies 121-116 in a thriller, Golden State will enter the playoff race for the first time in what feels like forever. They match up with the Houston Rockets in round one, and I can't wait for this series to get underway on Sunday. As it stands right now, we'll talk about the Warriors-Grizzlies game throughout today's video, but just overall, kind of talking about the news that we are receiving after the play-in win and what we're going to see moving forward. But let's look at the playoffs round one schedule here for Golden State. First game on Sunday against the Rockets in Houston, 6:30 p. Pacific. Game 2. A 2-day break in between games 1 and 2. You don't see that too often, but Golden State, the beneficiary of a little bit of extra rest here from game 1 to 2. You don't play that one until Wednesday, and then you don't play another one until the following weekend when the series shifts to Golden State for games 3 and game 4. Now, game 4 will be on Monday, the 28th, and then games 5, 6, and 7 are all TBD at this point because we don't know if they'll be necessary yet. Golden State has opened up as a very, pretty modest favorite in this series, so it's kind of crazy for a 7 to be favored over a 2, but Golden State has a ton of experience, and the Rockets, at the end of the day, they just don't. And we will also be live on the channel for every single game of this series. If you weren't a part of our watch party in the play-in game, man, you missed out on a banger because we had an electric time here on the channel, and that's why you subscribe, man. We bring you guys the best Warriors content on YouTube, and we're live for every single game. So we'll be live for the whole Rocket series, so lock us in, subscribe, and turn your notifications on so you know exactly when we go live here on the channel. All right, let's get into these couple news nuggets that I wanted to discuss before we get into a series preview or anything like that that actually pertains to the X's and O's matchups that we'll see in this next series. But playoff Jimmy has arrived. Like, he is 100% here. The switch has been flipped for Mr. Butler, and he has been excellent over the past few games. In Sunday's matchup against the Clippers, he did everything in his power to be the offensive engine that Golden State needed to secure the 6th seed in the Western Conference, but he decided to follow it up after Golden State fell short in that ball game, and he had another career high as a Warrior, 38 of them, 38 big ones in 40 minutes played. I mean, 88 minutes played. Thank God the Warriors get these next 4 days, 5 days of rest, because Jimmy definitely needs it after 88 minutes in 3 days. It's unbelievable. And he's been not only the aggressive scorer, but also finding open teammates, continuing to dribble, penetrate, and kick outside to open shooters. Now, a lot of guys on the Warriors aren't making those shots, but Jimmy is setting guys up to be in positions to succeed. The one glaring thing is, while he is getting to the free throw line a ton over this last few games, he missed a couple on Sunday and then missed a bunch on Tuesday night against the Grizzlies. So, Jimmy, just make sure we're knocking him down from the line and we're taking the free opportunities when they're given to us. But he's been incredibly efficient, man. Over the last 4 games, he's averaging 30. When's the last time Jimmy averaged 30 over a 4-game stretch? It's been a while. And as games are getting more consequential and more meaningful down the stretch of the regular season and into the postseason, Jimmy is stepping up with them. 30 points a night for the last 4 games. I mean, incredibly efficient as well. We know Jimmy's not going to shoot a bunch of threes and all that stuff. He has a quote about that coming up in just a moment. But he's getting good looks at the rim. He's getting defenders up in the air, creating and one opportunities as well. Just being a generator of offense that Golden State didn't previously have, as kind of a guy who can just get the ball and go ISO, get his spots, and be able to succeed heavily. Here's what Butler said about the scoring outbursts that he's had. He said, "I just feel like I have the opportunity here to pick my spots incredibly well. And they're always looking to get me the ball in my spots where I can be aggressive and put the ball in the basket or make the right plays for the next individual." And that's kind of the attitude that I'm hoping Jimmy keeps moving forward. Like, yes, Curry and his work on the floor is a lot of done off of the ball. And he's running off of screens, kind of running the whole perimeter, trying to find an opening in the defense for him to catch, look, turn, and shoot. But Jimmy is this guy who not only can create in isolation situations, but also be able to have that vision and look, honestly, more to pass to an open teammate or look to find a teammate an open look or an easy look than he is to, get aggressive and go downhill and score the basketball. How many times have we seen Butler drive into the paint and not go up with the shot and kick it out to somebody on the perimeter looking for Golden State to move the ball a little bit more and get the defenses on their heels. He does all of that incredibly. I just want to see him continue to have this aggression and have this mentality that if he's not performing at a high level and filling up that stat sheet, Golden State's not going to win many games. And he's not going to shoot a bunch of threes either. This isn't something where he's going to completely drastically change his style of play. Here's what he had to say on his shot diet. He said, I can shoot. I just choose not to shoot threes. I don't know how 100% true that is. But he said, I'd rather drive to the paint, get a layup, a midi, or pass the ball to somebody that's probably a much better shooter than I am. Everyone wants me to shoot more threes, but I like shooting some layups. I like that too, Jimmy. I love that. Because you know what? When Golden State is not shooting the ball at a very high clip, where else does the offense come from? How many other downhill scorers does Golden State have? I mean, Jonathan Kuminga, who we will talk about on today's video, has been a DNP for the past couple of games, so he's not in the rotation. How many other guys can just go get to their spots with the ball in their hands on the roster if it's not a three-point opportunity? Like, Buddy Hield's not driving to the cup. Pods isn't great around the rim. Is Guy Santos going to get his own bucket? I don't think so. So Jimmy is really one of those only guys on the roster that has this unique ability to just kind of take over possessions and be the engine that drives an offense. When Golden State was shooting sub 35% from three-point range versus the Grizzlies, like, they didn't have their best shooting night. But Jimmy was the one getting to the rim, getting into the mid-range, getting to his spots that would open up, openings for other players to cut back door. Like, doubles would go at Jimmy, and he would just find somebody cutting, along the baseline or down the middle of the floor. Like, it is incredibly valuable for Jimmy to be on this team right now because Golden State just has not had a player of his style and caliber on the roster as the number 2 in quite some time. Let's talk about the number 1 player, though, on Golden State's roster, and that, of course, is Wardell Stephen Curry, who has the worst whistle of all time. NBA history. I'm not joking. Like, there is no way you can convince me that a player in human history is defended more maliciously and given 0 calls by the officials than number 30 on Golden State. Let's just go through a little cross-examination here of what was going down in the Grizzlies game. Is this not a foul? Is this not a foul? He's punching him in the nuts, for God's sakes, while he's taking a jumper. You can't do it. You're not allowed. Like, well, anybody is rising up for a jump shot. You cannot have hands on them. No call right here. What about off the ball, where Steph will see doubles left and right? He'll be getting mugged. Well, what about right here, where he kind of is being used as a screener for Jimmy Butler there? Desmond Bane just pushes him, and Scottie Pippen Jr. just kind of leans with him, knocks Steph completely over out of the play, and again, no call. What about another time when Scottie Pippen Jr. was just honestly harassing Steph? Like, you could have arrested this guy for the crimes he was committing off of the ball last night. I mean, this is just a still photo. This entire sequence, if you guys have seen it, is unbelievable. I mean, he's wrapping him up. He's literally hugging him as Steph is trying to find an opening outside the perimeter. I mean, the fact that he's this much of a threat is honestly a blessing for Warriors fans. But at the same time, man, can he get a damn call? Because when he does, he's going to put up the most ridiculous lines that you've ever seen. And in the play-in game, he did just that. He did get to the line 13 times. But keep in mind, the vast majority of those were unintentional fouls. They were on, purposeful foul calls that Steph ended up going to the line and closing the game out on. So he was 13-13 from the line, but it's not like he was driving to the cup and constantly getting hit and the officials were blowing the whistle. No, that wasn't happening. He had to go get his own, and he had a really monster second half. Another 40-minute performance out of Steph. Hit 6 triples, hit a big one down the stretch that pushed the lead to 4, and really kind of was the quasi-dagger there for Golden State. I mean, listen, if you thought the whistle was bad last night against Memphis, expect the whistle to be bad again in the Houston Rockets series, all series long. What happened last time Golden State played Houston? Curry couldn't even get a look. They were wrapping him up the entire way off of the ball. Only finished with 3 points off of a half-court buzzer beater in the second quarter. So Steph is going to have to just do his best to fight through the contact and fight through the adversity, because I don't see this whistle changing anytime soon. It hasn't for his entire career. But if you guys want to manifest some change for me right here on the channel today, if you want fair officiating in the playoffs, go down below and hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video for me right now. If you guys just want to see things called both ways, just want to see it called fair and want to see Steph get a solid whistle, because Jimmy was getting all the foul calls last night. Why can't 30 get him? Like the video. All right, next we'll give you guys more major news around the Golden State Warriors on Jonathan Kuminga, and then the supporting cast behind Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, and company that need to definitely step up at certain spots in this Rocket series. First, though, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, and that, of course, is Game Time. If you guys are looking to go to an NBA playoff game this season, make sure you do it with our proud sponsor, Game Time, the best place to get last-minute tickets because prices actually drop as the events get closer with Game Time. So if you're a procrastinator like me, this is the platform for you. Plus, it's so aesthetically pleasing, and they always give you the lowest price guarantee. App is super easy to navigate, and Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier, even for hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app go down as it gets closer to tip-off, and with killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from the seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Save up to 60% off with their last-minute deals for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and so much more. It's not just NBA playoffs on there. They got all the live events going on in your city. So download the Game Time app today. Use promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase after you create an account. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. What time is it? It's game time. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. So will Jonathan Kuminga play versus the Houston Rockets after 2 straight coaches' decision DNPs not in the rotation for the 2 most important games of Golden State's, 83-game season? He was not involved in the lineup. Remember, Steve Kerr said pregame that Kuminga would not be playing against the LA Clippers after, he didn't really seem to fit on the floor, especially with Jimmy, with Draymond sharing the court together. It just hasn't been the best overall fit. Jimmy's kind of taken Kuminga's role away from him in Golden State's rotation at this point. So will he play versus Houston? Well, he didn't play versus the Grizzlies, and was that the right decision? Yeah, honestly, probably. Dalton Johnson came out with these statistics on Twitter after, this decision came out that, he really hasn't played all that well against Memphis this season. Nearly 11 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, but 29% for the field, where in the first 2 games where he was completely healthy was 5 of 25, and then 33% from 3, a 74 offensive rating, which would be miles worst in the NBA, and then a 126 defensive rating, which would be also at the bottom of the league, and then a minus 21 overall. So he wasn't good at playing against the Grizzlies. However, he is good at playing against the Rockets, so could that be a spot where he sees some action? Kuminga was getting some shots up and getting work in after the Clipper game, and that is a welcome sign because you never know how this could affect a guy. If you want, at the end of the day, Kuminga's role has been jostled around a ton. He's been a starter here. He's been a focal point there. He's been a bench player. He's been the 6th man. He's been a bench player playing starter minutes. He's been out of the rotation. His role has fluctuated more than any player on Golden State's roster over the past few seasons. And it is a testament to him that he's still trying to get the work in, still trying to kind of, not let this sink in mentally to where he can't play and can't be productive anymore. Because remember what Steve Kerr said about shorting the rotation. He said, and it doesn't mean that they're out of the loop going forward, talking about Kuminga and Guy Santos. Well, we saw Guy against the Grizzlies. It's just how this game played out. So, it was just a 1 or 2 game, off thing here for Kuminga not being out of the lineup, I guess. Steve Kerr probably had to save face and say that before, the Golden State got to the playoffs or whatever. But at the end of the day, Kuminga can go out there and score. What did I say before? Golden State doesn't have a ton of downhill scorers on the roster. Somebody could just pound the rock, get into a mismatch, put the shoulder into the chest of a defender, and finish at the rim. Kuminga is that guy at the end of the day. So could he be a factor against Houston's really great length and athleticism? I think that he's going to have to be at this point. He's one of the only athletes on Golden State's roster that can kind of go bar for bar with some of the young wings and talent that they have in Houston. So I think they're going to have to need to play him. Draymond, he thinks so too. Here's what he had to say on Kuminga. He said he'll contribute about the series against the Rockets. He said he's great, getting his work in. He'll be meaningful for us in that series. I have zero doubt about that. I think the challenge for him is to stay mentally engaged, as it is for anyone in that situation. But I have zero doubt in my mind he's going to help us in this series. He will, 1,000%. Now, was that, I kind of felt like when I was listening to Draymond Green say this quote, it was kind of like walking on eggshells almost. He was saying that he's guaranteeing all this stuff. But at the end of the day, is he going to change Steve Kerr's mind, or is he going to determine the rotation? No, that's going to be up to the head coach. But Kuminga is giving, Kerr a good reason to put him in the lineup for a Houston series, because what he's done against the Rockets this season has been nothing short of impressive at the end of the day. I mean, his best opponent is the Houston Rockets. I mean, 33-point game back on December 5th. Steph wasn't playing in that game. Golden State gets the win on the heels of Jonathan Kuminga scoring a third of Golden State's points. Meanwhile, when Golden State lost that game in the in-season tournament, Kuminga still had 20 points, and it was solid-ish from the field. Nothing too crazy. Back in the first meeting of the season, 23, 6, 7 to 12 from the field, hit 2 threes. I mean, if he's giving me that in this series, you got to play him. And then when his minutes depreciated toward the end of the season here, as you see, he only played 19 in April 6th matchup, 9 points, 7 boards when he was crashing the glass effectively. So I really like to see that. But again, was not efficient from the field. So I don't know. Is he going to be a factor in this series? I'm sure he's going to get some run. But how much of a run is that going to be? Is it going to be more than 20 minutes? I'd be hard-pressed to say yes. What do you guys think, though? Do you believe in Jonathan Kuminga to make an impact in the playoffs for Golden State? Type B for believe, type D for don't. I'm trying to get a pulse of Dub Nation on who thinks Kuminga can succeed and who thinks that he's cooked. Let me know down in the comments. B for believe, D for don't. And wrapping up on today's show, who is going to help our stars? Who is going to step up to the plate and be the needle movers in scenarios that Golden State is going to need them to be? Because the Rockets are a deep team. They have a lot of firepower, especially in the defensive end. So for old veteran players like Golden State employs, they're going to need some of their young talent to go out there and make shots. Now, against Memphis, they didn't get a ton of production from their role players. Like Steph and Jimmy combined for 75, and that was probably it. And they needed 75 points from those guys to go out there and win the ball game. Like they weren't going to win if Curry and Butler combined for 65 instead of 75. So they're going to need some of these guys who got red behind their names to step it up a little bit. QP and GP2 were great. They were awesome. I don't know if I like Gary Payton II shooting 6 threes in a ball game, but neither here nor there. They were all wide open attempts. So like if GP2 is ever pulling from distance, it's going to be wide open. I can't be that mad at it. Quinn Post was quick trigger last night. He was awesome, and he was getting physical down low with Zach Edey. Love the defensive intensity that he played with. Was it the best overall defense? No, but it was great effort, and he was knocking down shots when the opportunities presented themselves. A couple different situations QP hit those threes in to extend the lead to 10, extend the lead to 20, to give Golden State the lead back. So a couple of solidly big moments that QP knocked down those shots in, and he got one close to the basket as well, a little hook shot. I loved what I saw from QP, and I can't wait to continue seeing him in the postseason rotation. Need him for spacing in this Rocket series, no doubt about it. But Pods, you're going to be playing 30-plus minutes a night. I'm going to need better than this. At the end of the day, I'm just going to need better. There's only so many charges you could take. Start putting the ball in the cup. Moody, same thing. He had 9 points, but at the end of the day, if you're a starter for Golden State, I'm going to need double digits. I'm just going to need you to score the rock. That's just what it comes down to. Put the ball in the cup. You're being trusted out there because you are trusted to make shots, and you haven't been lately. So get a fix in and start knocking them down. And then Buddy was bad. Buddy was just bad. 0 of 3 from 3. And if he's not shooting threes, there isn't a reason for him to be out there on the basketball court. That is, at the end of the day, what it comes down to. So Golden State's going to have to see more shots go down from some of these guys. And the 3 guys in red, they have been technically shooting the ball pretty solid lately. Healed at 38.8%. I would like him to be a lot closer to 40, if not exceeding 40%. Meanwhile, Pods has been just lighting it up from long range. These are over the last 20 games. And he's been cooking, but I guess it was more of a one-game blip that for Pods than it is an elongated stretch of not hitting jumpers. He continues to be very solid in the starting 5. But Moody, man, 34.7%. A lot of these, a lot, are wide open opportunities. GP2 shooting the ball better than Moses Moody right now, and I don't think that's disputed by anybody. So Moses, you need to get in the lab, get the shots going, get the form going, and guys just need to hit jumpers at the end of the day. You're not going to get a ton of points in the paint against the Rockets. They play a great brand of defense, especially inside the arc. You're going to need to hit jumpers. It's a make-or-miss league. And Golden State got lucky last night only shooting 35% from long range. If they want to beat the Rockets, they're going to need to be close to 40 for all those wins, or else they'll be going home early in the 2025 NBA playoffs. But we will keep you locked in for everything surrounding the Warriors, whether it's an injury update, whether it's a rumor, whether it's news, whether it's anything going on with Golden State. We will keep you in the loop. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/WarriorsTV. Remember, we'll be live for every game of the Rockets series, so turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. We'll see you guys all in the next one. And as always, let's go Dubs.